everyone, this is LaDonna with Sampling of Memories. I was actually doing some stuff in my craft room and thought I would hop on and do a real quick video. I know that all of us as needleworkers, we tend to collect things and we like to see what other people collect. So some of the items that I collect, a lot of you probably already know. If you watched me for any duration, I love wooden boxes. I love antique samplers or quilts, anything that has to do with sewing. I have a shadow box that I put things in, so I was in the process of revamping it, and I thought, well, why don't I put some of my sewing tools that I have in it so I can actually see them and actually enjoy them instead of them being tucked away in a drawer, because that's honestly where I've been keeping them just until I could figure out where I want to put them and what I want to do with them. So I thought I would share some of those items with you guys, and some of them may be new to you guys, some of them may be a little old, some of them I don't even know really what they do. So but I thought it'd be a little bit fun to share some of these things. So as I was going through, I do keep some of them, of course, in boxes. So I have some shaker boxes. These are not old, well, I guess they are kind of old now because I got them when let's see here, this is I think dated 93, so 92. So these are Hen Workshops, if any of you remember them. They did these wonderful shaker boxes that are they're very well made, and it's too bad honestly that they went out of business. But one of the reasons I ended up with these was because I love them, but they also one year had a rocking horse that they did, and it was made, the finish is like this, and I had to have it because I think William was probably, he may have been 2 years old, but you had to be a hostess in order to get it, of course. Everything I could to get that rocking horse, and it is in our basement. It's a stacking set of 3, so there's one more, but I have some things in that one, but there's one that's a slightly bigger. So anyway, so I've had these for years and I love them, but they do hold some of my little treasures that I don't keep out all the time. So shaker boxes are definitely handy for that, along with other things, many other things. I'm gonna go in the, I took a picture so you guys could see how messy. I just really have them just like laying down here, but I'm just gonna, as I come across them, that's what I'm gonna pull up. Well, the first thing is this antique sampler, believe it or not. It's a little bitty. It's on, I would say, almost a gauze type of fabric, which, let me see if I can get it correctly for you to see, but you can see how little it is. I did reproduce this one, so it is, I think, what did I name it? I think I named it Birds and Bees, but I'll double check that. I did not, actually I did. I stitched it to where I do believe it is on a higher count. It's either 36 or 30, excuse me, 36 or 40, but I think it's on 40 because it is just about this size when it's finished, but it's a nice little piece. I mean, obviously you don't have to stitch it on 40 count linen or gauze if you don't want to. You can make it bigger or go on the 50, I think was it 56 count. I have not ventured there, so I don't know. But I did purchase this online from a dealer in England who had this, and she also had this sweet little strawberry that is knitted, and I had to have them. So she photographed them together, so I felt like I had to have them, even though she said she didn't buy them together. They have nothing to do with each other than they look cute together. This one, you can tell, has been a little loved, and it has a part here where it had started to separate. I'm not going to do anything with that because it really does not get handled enough to where I think that's going to be a long-term problem. I think sometimes we try to repair things and fix things and it takes away from it. So I think that just adds to its charm. It reminds you that it is old, it's been around for a while, and for the most part it has held up pretty well actually, because even the top where they stitched it, and it does feel like it may be silk that they used here. So that's one little tchotchke that I have. And some of these, I don't think, some of them probably have no value at all other than I'm crazy enough to collect them. My mom, she also finds them for me as this little one, which I think is really cute. It's has a little, two little kids on it chasing each other. This does feel like it's probably leather, but when you open it up, it has a little mirror, which I won't tilt it that way because that will be blinding. Let me see here. I will put something there so it doesn't do the glare. How's that? Opens, and you have these little tools. She's not even sure if these tools are original. I think this piece probably is. The scissors, they look like they probably are, but this hook, I don't think it is because of the way it doesn't really want to fit in there. But that was something that she picked up and gave to me. And I'll just keep stacking them. Here's an item. It was in one of those, you know, when you go to auctions and they have the junk boxes where they'll have a couple things that are really good in the box and then they'll have a bunch of junk that they just group together so people will buy it. So this was kind of hidden in one of those boxes. And it's a little drinking cup. So I would imagine if you're a lady traveling around and you want to make sure you have your own cup. But I think, I can't read what it has marked on the bottom. Someone did scratch into the metal. I haven't been able to figure out what it actually says because they didn't leave any spaces really between the letters where you can tell what the words are. But it's just something I thought was cute and decorative. I liked how the design was on the front. Let's see here. Here's a pair of scissors that are, you can tell, a little old. I have not used them because I don't trust that they would really, I don't know if I like them. They're decorative. Sometimes I use them when I do some of my photos as a prop because they've got the nice tarnishing and aging. The patina is there. So I kind of like those. And then I'll show you my larger box. So here's the larger box. So they're just really cute stacked together. And I like the crackling because it does make them look old. I have several of these. So this is for stamps, which, yeah, the stamps we use today will not go in this, but those of you that remember the packet of stamps that we used to buy, or loose stamps, they would fit in here. So this is something that would go on a chatelaine that a lady would wear, and or the housekeeper, and they would have the tools. If any of you watched Downton Abbey, remember Mrs. Hughes? She had a bunch of things hanging from her waist that had keys and all of these different things. Well, this is something that she would have had potentially on her chatelaine. So it could have scissors, it could have mirrors, it could have things for postage stamps, it could have an emery for needlework. I'm trying to think, a thing to hold your thimble. So it was just all the tools that she could possibly need. They were right there when she needed them. But this was for postage stamps. So I'll get that a little, there we go. And then this one also is for postage stamps, and it even says postage on it. This one is probably a little bit newer than the first one, but they both have the same purpose. And then sometimes I'm looking to see if either of these have been engraved. And they have not, because sometimes they would have their initials engraved there so you would know whose it was. There'd be no doubt. And then let's see here. Another pair of scissors. And this one actually has the chain. So this is how a lady would have had it on her chatelaine, or so it would, you know, probably hang. Maybe it would hang from this direction, but because it doesn't make any sense for it to be point up for obvious reasons. But however they would attach it, I don't know if it would be more, yeah, it just wants to go this way, but that doesn't seem very safe. This young lady did have her initials put in, and I don't think they're going to show up because of the glare. I'll take some pictures and see if it'll show up in there. And they're marked, so these do happen to be silver. But as you can see, they're very old. And in here, there's a slip of a leather to protect them so that it's not metal on metal when you put it in there. It's just a leather sleeve that's been encased basically with the silver holder, and then of course you've got the chain and the decorative handle. So as most of you probably know, depending on their station in life, this may have been the only pair of scissors they ever had. They're not like they were not like us, who collected many things and multiple pairs of scissors because we wanted them to match different things. They may have been fortunate enough just to have one pair that they would have kept for the majority of their life. And then this is another piece that would have been on a chatelaine. So as you can see, it's got the hook right there for it to go on, and I believe this is a pencil. And actually these almost match. You see this one will work. So you see how it twists out, and you have your little pencil right there ready to go. I have not tried to change any of the lead or anything because I do not use them, but they're pretty much how they are when I have found them or when they've been gifted to me by my mother, because I think a lot of these came from her. Let's see. I have thimbles as well, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with. So there's all kinds. I've never used a thimble to do any sewing with, so I haven't had a reason to, and don't know if I ever really would, but they're kind of cute. And this one looks like it was probably for a child when they were learning, because it's a very tiny thimble, and you know, nothing special, just your basic thimble. This one's a little bit more decorative. It looks like it has a seal almost on it. I don't know if it's gonna there. I'll take pictures of these and hopefully they show up a little bit better, but you can see how it has a design going around it. This one's still a pretty basic one. It's a size 9, it looks like. Very basic. And another one that is fairly basic. And then this piece is one that my mom had found as well. So it's a little, it's brass, so it's decorative, and it doesn't really look like it has a place where it may have hung on a necklace or anything. It just, when you open it up, it has a place for you to keep your thimble. And she doesn't think this thimble is the actual original one, but I tend to think it probably is because it matches. And some of the designs that are on the thimble are also on the case here. But anyway, whether or not they go together now. But it just holds it just like this. So a lady could keep this in her sewing box and always know that her thimble was protected and where to find it. This is another one that would have went on a chatelaine, because we have our lovely hook here again, and this one opens up and it's an old pencil. So as you can tell, I haven't done anything with it, but you can see how they would have used a knife or a chisel maybe to sharpen it. But anyway, it's still the way it was when we found it. And on this side, it does say that it's German and Faber, which I believe they still make pencils today. So it just slides right back in here, which, as you can see how it's made, good luck replacing that pencil, right? Just slides in there, and then it goes right here. And this was dated, I don't know if it's going to show up because of the sun. It says 1907, and then her initials are engraved right here. So as I said, I'll take some pictures close up, but and it's in still really good condition. There's not, it's pretty, you know, it's been used, it's been around a while, but it's still in fairly good condition. This piece here, I think is, obviously, I think it's brass, but what I liked about it is it says DMC. and when you open it up, there's a place, there's no needles in there, but there is a place to where you could store your needles. And once again, it is on has a jump ring here, so that you could either attach it onto a chatelaine or a necklace, so that you can find that when you need your needles. Let's see, this might be, okay, I've got probably two favorite pieces. This one I think is adorable. So this is a little pocket knife, basically. So once again, it would have been something that would have went on a chatelaine, but it does open up. If I trust my fingernails are kind of weak right now because I've been doing a lot of they've been getting messed up from doing some of my projects. So when I cut them or try to file them down, they get too thin. But as you can see, it's this cute little pocket knife. And I just loved it. When I found it, I had to have it because our youngest son, he was really into pocket knives for a time being. So it just reminds me of him, but it's just the cutest. And once again, it has all those little tiny things that you might need at some point. So it's a little pocket knife. And then here's another one that's a favorite. My mom found this one for me, and it looks like it's German. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It says N-U-R, and then there's a space, E-I-N space, and then Fingerhut space, V-O-L-L. And it's a thimble. I think it was their shot glass. What do you think? That looks like either it's for the Jolly Green Giant, or because she was a little frustrated or something and needed something to take the edge off while she was stitching. So when they say a thimbleful, let's go with this one, right? So I like that one. But, you know, whatever it takes, right? That was not me, that's my dog. She's back there. And then this one's a laying tool that is on a necklace, so that whoever this originally belonged to, they want to make sure they always have their laying tool, I guess, when they were working. So they put it on a chain. And that's how it has remained. So I'm going to put some of these back the way I had them so I know where they're at. And then making sure okay, so a chatelaine. So a lot of you may not be familiar with what they are and be wondering what I'm talking about. So this is a chatelaine. So this is made to where, see, it has a pin right here. So the lady of the house or the head housekeeper would have had this, and you may see them sometimes in the older pictures where they're up here or on their waist, so they're down here. But they always had whatever they needed right there. So strawberry emery for their sewing. A lot of times they'll have scissors on them. This one does not. This one has a pin cushion. So, and it still has a pin in it. And then, so they only had on the tools that the person who it belonged to would have wanted. So this one has the pencil, but as you can see, the cap was it disappeared a while, way before it came into my hands. So there's no pencil that's in there. And then this is what they would have referred to as an aide-memoire. So it has, these are, which you can't get these now, I believe. They feel like they may be ivory. I'll have to ask my husband. I've never really paid that level of attention, but I would imagine based on the age of these, when most of them would have been made, it's probably ivory, which obviously is illegal. But I'm not sure. It could also be Bakelite too. That's why I'm wondering. I'll have to look and see when Bakelite, that type of plastic material, actually started being made. But this one, the person did put their initial, so it has a D on it, but this is what they would have carried, and if they had to make a note, they could have used their pencil to write something down, and then they could have wiped it off, kind of like what we have now with our whiteboards. And what is that, expo markers? And then let's see here, what have I missed? I think I've missed the thimble. So I don't know if there's a thimble in here. Yes, there is a thimble in this one. So once again, storage for the thimble, and it has a place here. And it just fits right inside. Close it up. So that's one of the Chatelaines. And this one of them my mom gave me. One of them I bought. There was a lady a few years ago who must have been an avid needle worker who had passed away, and her children were selling her estate, and these were some of the items that I picked up, and then unbeknownst to me, my mom had picked up one as well to give to me as a gift. So this one has, you can tell how different the styles are, but once again, this is a little bit more delicate. Maybe it was for a younger lady that, you know, or maybe a smaller lady that needed the smaller size. But nonetheless, she had, once again, her strawberry emery, this little notepad, which I'm not going to take out. It's a little leather notepad with actual paper in it. And I'm not going to take it out because I have another one, but they're very delicate. So the leather, the aging has not been too kind to the leather. But once again, and it's in a very ornate filigree design holder. And then she must have really liked to take notes because this is another one. And it's a little bit bigger. You can see, once again, I'm not taking the paper out because I have, and they are very, very fragile. So I'm just going to leave them in there. And then this one actually has, and this is another reason why I love this one. The filigree, so you have the pencil, there's no pencil in it, but it must have been a souvenir from a trip to Atlanta, and I lived in Atlanta for a while, so I like it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I liked this one. So there's the pencil, and the thimble. I don't think there's a thimble in this one, yeah. There's no thimble in this one. But as you can see, this one looks like it was all bought at the same time because everything matches. The filigree is all the same. The other way you can tell that they go together is the chain and the hoops are all the same. And then this one is interesting because it actually has almost like a lobster claw. So it's designed to come off to put extra new paper in it or to swap out depending on what you're doing. They may have had some other tools that went with this and they could swap them out as they needed to, once again, depending on what the situation was. But it has the fleur-de-lis here in the middle, which is nice. And I'm trying to see if there's, yeah, there's no engraving. There's a spot on these as well for initials, but no initials. So that's the other chatelaine. And then here is a piece that matches it. So it's made the same. So I don't know if the chain is obviously gone. So I don't know if this was a piece that she swapped with the other one, and that's why there's more. I don't know if the person that originally bought this, because they came from the same place, I don't know if maybe she found them at different times, and because she had one or the other, she wanted them because they went together. But the estate sale that we went to that time, she had, you know how they'll have the tabletop box, well, how jewelers, or when you go to the like flea markets or auctions, and they'll have the cases, the tabletop cases that open up that are portable. They had one room that was full of jewelry and sewing, silver sewing tools. So there was, I mean, she had a lot. She had a pretty impressive collection because between my mom and I, we got quite a bit, but we didn't even do a dent. There were so many people there that had, it was amazing. She probably had 50 pairs of scissors that she had collected that you know, the older scissors. So she must have picked them up wherever she went and came across them. So anyway, she had a nice collection. So that's one way, if you're interested in anything like this, always watch estate sales. If you're not normally into those things, estate sales or auctions, set up your keyword searches for what you're interested in and to be notified when something does go on the market or when something's going to be up for auction, for you to be able to take advantage of some of the opportunities that will pop up that way. All right. And so those of you who have watched me know I'm a book person. So she also had a couple of books that I was able to pick up. So she had this one. It was Chatelaines, and she also had the Story of Antique Needlework Tools. She had an amazing collection, this person. And these two books, I got each one of them, I think they were $15 each, which, hello. So I had asked the lady, fortunately, be careful of this when you go to estate sales, because people, if you leave something and even while you're looking or something, they think if you put it down, it's fair game. So I had asked the lady that was, because she was writing everyone up, because you had to pay for these items before you left the room for obvious reasons. And so I had asked her, I said, is it okay if I put my name on these and just leave these, because I want to go look at her other books and I'll probably have some more. And she said, sure, you can go ahead and do that. And so I was like, okay. So I look over and there's this lady with my books, and I was like, wait a minute, those are my books. And she's like, oh no, they're not. I'm like, yeah, they are. I sat them down and I said, you took my name off of them. And she goes, oh no, I didn't do that. I go, yes, you did, because my name was on them. And so I went over and well, actually the lady who ran the estate sale, she came over and she goes, LaDonna, what's the matter? And I told her, and she looked at her, she said, no, these are hers. She said, I told her she could sit them down there and she put her name on them. And you took her name off. That does not make them yours. So the lady that ran the estate sale, she said, here, go ahead and take them. And she said, because I don't want somebody to walk off with your books again, because she said I may not always be floating through, because, you know, she was going through the whole place, making sure everyone was okay, keeping her eyes on everything. But fortunately, you know, she knew me and I knew her. So she was, you know, she was willing to take that chance for me, and it almost went south really bad. So, but anyway, I did end up with the books, and I'm sure the other lady was not very happy with me, but oh well, all's fair, right? The black work embroidery, and in it was a picture of her with some of the work she had done. So I have a piece that was in the estate sale that she did. That's a crewel work piece. It's large, and it's hanging in my bedroom because it matches. And I paid like $25 for it, which was heartbreaking. And I kept looking through the whole house for the other one, because usually people did two, but I only found the one. And I don't know if somebody else bought the other one and they just didn't want both or what, or if maybe she really did just do one, but I was able to snag at least one of them. So I do have a piece of her needlework as well, so that's kind of fun. And I guess, you know, for kids that had no interest in it, at least it came home with me, someone who will take care of it and enjoy it. So that's really all I have. I'm going to get back to what I was working on, and that is putting all of the ones that'll fit in my shadow box. I'll include a photo so that everyone can see what I ended up doing. I don't think everything will fit in there, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what I can do. And I'll be more than happy to share it. Thanks for stopping by, and please, you know, drop me a comment, send me a note. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Facebook and Instagram. It's pretty much where I'm pretty much on Instagram, because it's very easy and quick for me to do, more so than Facebook. Facebook for me can turn into a black hole. Instagram, I can do real quick checks and in and out kind of thing. You can also send me messages that way, and as I said, you can also, you know, leave me a comment. If you are enjoying some of my videos and some of the information that I do have to share, please subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit the little bell so that you get notified. I don't do videos very often, so it's a good way when something new pops in, you can be notified. I don't have a regular schedule. I really do them as I have a few minutes here and there to do them. And I will talk a little bit maybe at some point on the guild that I'm a member of, because some of the different things that we do, so that maybe it will inspire some of you to find one or join one so that you can meet some other folks. And as you can tell, my dog is behind me and she's getting a little restless, so I think it's probably about time for her to eat, is the way she's acting. She pretty much sleeps until it's time to eat. And so once again, thanks so much for stopping by. Sorry I rambled a little bit there, and hopefully you were able to learn something new today that you did not already know.